playing with new guys. Obviously, got to go through this process with them and, get a little feel for how they play and what they can do. But, it's like coming with a new team pretty much. So just ready to go play this week, though. Been a while for me. I ain't played since December. So to get back out there, I'm excited. Got the jitters, so I'm just ready to go. So.
What's it like to learn new guys like that?
It's a process. At times it could be, when it first started, it's like, but as guys keep going and keep working, keep getting better, then kind of learn how to play with each other, play off each other. Stuff start clicking the right way, you get a little excited. So.
What was your overall analysis of what you saw from some of the guys who will be playing with you in the preseason, and what maybe steps did you see them take as that time continued?
Just see growth, obviously confidence, being in the scheme, being able to be a part of the defense, do things, and have some success at practice, and then in the preseason, guys playing with confidence. So, me personally seeing what I've been seeing at practice and where we at now, you get excited about it. Obviously, you got to wait till Sunday, see how everything play out, but I'm definitely excited for what we got and what we got coming. So, we just ready to play.
Is there maybe a specific example? You mentioned before that the technical work and playing in the front structure you guys do at the beginning of all of this, and then is there maybe a specific example you could point to of something you have seen that's taken a step forward from someone?
I think it's technique things. Obviously, guys making plays, being productive. You seeing that. Guys understanding how to play off certain blocks and technique-wise, how to play, how to get off. You see all that, and then, and for me, it's about what you do, after you get off, making the plays that you want to see. Like what Ashawn was doing for the past couple of years. You lose a guy like that. Guys got to step up big, and I've been seeing guys, having them splash plays when you get excited about it, and you looking forward to seeing what it's like on Sundays. But it's looking good now, but still go to the game and see how everything play out. But I'm excited about it. So.
You said earlier, but I think at training camp, you weren't where you wanted to be in terms of physically, I guess, getting ready for the season. Are you where you want to be now, or do you feel like there's still a ways to come back?
No, I'm feeling good. Obviously healthy. Feeling good. And I feel like I've been playing good. Obviously, got to wait till game 2 for everybody to translate and do what I need to do on the football field to help my team to be successful. But where I'm at right now, I feel pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident. So just got to go out there and execute. So.
And then, odds makers and others have predicted you guys would win like 6.5. Put your win over under it 6.5. Do you think that's accurate, far off, or how would you?
We're gonna just play the game and see. That's all you can say. Obviously, it's always gonna be talk in the sports world about this and that, but all you can do is play the game and see everything play out from there. So can't be worried about what everybody's saying. Just gotta play the game. That's it.
Do you enjoy that role where people are counting this defense out, they're counting this team out already? We haven't even got started yet.
I don't mind it, because it's like, ain't no pressure at all. You obviously, past couple of years, you've been praised so high, now, everybody against you kind of thing. You hear it, but me personally, kind of trying to feed off it a little bit because we all need something to try to push us a little bit, so, it's different, but, I'm for the challenge, It's a different type of challenge this year, so, for me, so I'm looking forward to it.
Just a couple more guys.
Are these rookies on the team young enough that they're telling you, like, I watched you and play, growing up or anything you hear like that?
I ain't that old, though, but damn. Yeah, 10 years, that's a while. That ain't that long, though. I don't feel it. But obviously you got guys that watch me, definitely in the D-line room that said things, but, we here now. They're at the same place I'm at now, so we grown in brotherhood, and that's past. So we just locked in what we got to do this week to Sunday. So.
So you're like having to go against, Bobby, when you guys were out here on the same field for so long last year, and now, are you telling your offense anything to watch out for?
Oh, well, he was on our team, so they know what type of guy he is. Obviously, they got to try to find a way to bottle him up and not let him get himself going because he can take over a game. So. I don't need to say much. They went against him in camp, went against him in practice, so they know how dominant of a player he is. He's been in this league playing at a high level for a long time, so he's a game wrecker. So we just got to try to find ways to, on the offense side of the ball, to make sure that he don't take advantage and take over a game.
So. At the beginning, you said you were nervous. that a normal feeling, or is it because you haven't been there?
I wouldn't say nervous. It's more anxious. Just trying to get on the field. I ain't played since we played the Chiefs, so it's like it's been a while. You missed the game, you missed the whole experience of being on the field and going against the team and trying to find a way to win. So it's been a while for me. So it's more, you get the butterflies and you're just anxious to get on the field. I wish we could play right now, but still got a couple of days. So it's just more like that for me.
Aaron, we know that. Go ahead.
No, that's right.
We know that Greg Gaines played a pretty specific role in terms of he was someone who, I know everyone was, but he was someone who helped you be creative in a way that he could manipulate space and then also knew where you were going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there someone that you need to fill that? Are you looking to step into that sort of role?
Yeah, we got guys that been doing good in camp that obviously been playing with through the camp process that I'm comfortable with. They've been playing great. I don't want to say no names yet, so we're gonna see Sunday. But they've been playing good, honestly. Guys been really sticking out. I've been watching on the practice field, on the film, seeing things that you, like I said, that you get excited about, that you look forward to seeing on Sundays. That's going not just help me, but help the team to be successful. So we just ready.
Really quickly.
Just there's so many young guys who are going to be asked to contribute at every level of the defense. Like, what are you going to be looking for to see that they're ready for that spotlight?
They ain't young guys no more. It's go time now. We went through the process of OTAs, through the process of camp, preseason. Now it's go time. So they just got to grow fast. Obviously you want them guys to be successful, make plays, and I'm trying to find a way to help us be successful and win games. So that's what it's about. They got to grow up a little faster than what they want to, but that's what they're here for, to help us win. So.
What's that?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously been several years since you guys were in the same buildings, but what's it like for you game planning for real this week with Sean and the rest of the group?
Yeah, it's just been fun. It's been fun the whole time, and it's been a process for sure. Just getting acclimated because there are a lot of new faces, but it's been fun, and the whole challenge is trying to put these players in the best position to be successful. We like where our plan is. We got to make it come to life on Sunday, but it's been enjoyable and a good process.
Not having Cooper for Sunday and then indefinite amount of time after, what do you do with the younger receivers and kind of where do you speak up in game planning meetings and situational meetings to maybe think about ideas of how to get?
Yeah, for sure. No, you again. First of all, there's no replacing Cooper, right? I mean, he's an awesome player. I feel more for the person than the player because he wants to compete, but we feel very confident, obviously, in the guys we have going out there. They've gotten a lot of work, albeit, from last year, obviously OTAs and training camp. So, very fired up for those guys to be able to go out there on Sunday and do their thing too. And again, it just goes back to the general, rule in terms of how we approach this thing. What can these guys do and put them in those positions so they can go make it happen on Sunday, and that's the challenge we have as coaches, and then we got to get it relayed, in a way that is easy for them to absorb and then go play their fastest, and, I feel like we're doing that.
Along those lines, Mike, what was the most demonstrable growth you saw from those other receivers in
those times when they had to be out there practicing, getting reps when people wasn't out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's that question could go on forever because you could see every single day, those guys finding something to improve on. And so I'd say the most that they improved on is probably their confidence. I mean, they have earned the right to feel confident. They have earned the right to feel like that they're going to go put their best foot forward because of the work that they put in. Individually as a unit, I think Yarbs has done such a good job with those guys, making them feel confident, and obviously having Matthew with them to be able to another coach, right there, a player coach, if you will, to make those guys feel good about what they're doing.
Like when you've looked at tape of the Seattle defense, what pops off the most to you?
Same thing that every time you play Seattle, they just play so hard, and it's never changed. Back from the first time, I had to play them back in 16 when we were in Atlanta, and they had the Legion of Boom and Michael Bennett and all those guys to what they got now. They just play so hard, starting up front. You can tell where it starts with those guys, just how disruptive they want to be, both in the run game and in obviously in the pass game. So that's the challenge. You go into that Hornets nest up in Seattle. You got a bunch of guys, 11 guys plus whoever's going to come off the bench for them that are going to play hard, play within this scheme that they've been doing forever. They've evolved because Pete and those guys are great coaches, but their scheme is their scheme, and that's what they do. And they kind of set the blueprint of this thing 10 years ago, and they're still doing it at a great level.
With a healthy offensive line now, is this a great test for you guys right out of the gate?
Yeah,
Defense?
yeah. I think any team we played week one was going to be a great test because this league is just so dang good. But it is, again, going on the road, being able to just block out that noise, block out that environment, and just focus on each play, where my feet are, the great communication. No one's going to hear anything. They're not going to hear anything. We're not going to be able to hear anything. So all that work that they've, our guys have put in since April of being able to communicate non-verbally, it's got to come to life.
What's the greatest challenge, Mike, for you, being that it's week one, season one for you back here in this team, when you don't have a ton of tape? Do you find that that's already passed with a lot of film study, or is that even more this week?
No, it's both sides, right? It's offense, defense, special teams. I mean, you go into week one, and for any coach to sit there and say what's going to happen, you got no idea. I mean, everyone's evolving, everyone's studying different schemes and stuff like that. You feel like you have a pretty good idea. You feel like you have a pretty good idea of the players, but the guys that we're about to go against, I'm sure they put in the work to improve too, both individually, from what they put on tape a year ago. So, you gotta play rules ball to an extent, and just let our guys go play fast, give them a plan where they can go play fast, and then solve the problems as coaches and players as we go through the game.
Sean said Monday that you guys were still working on figuring out that front five on the offensive line this week. Where do you feel like you guys are in that process of sorting that out?
Figuring out that front five, still doing it, So we'll I'm sure it'll sort its way out by 1:25 or whenever we play on Sunday. But every day, again, they're still working through this thing, and we feel we'll put our best five out there.
How does that impact chemistry for that unit? Still trying to figure out who they're going to be next to.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And so, we got to be very strategic about each play that we put in terms of who's working combination blocks, both in the run game, who's working on, their slides and when they're on the man side and protection, working off the game. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it in terms of making sure that, we feel like they're prepared to be able to, whatever five we put out there, going to be able to go out there and execute.
Mike, I have a two-part question. First, what is it like trying to teach from the ground up, teaching a rookie, you guys, silent cadence?
Yeah, it's different because in college football, all these guys are clapping, and Georgia, I'm assuming, was pretty loud. I've never been down there, but I'm guessing Georgia versus LSU on a Saturday night's pretty loud, and yet they're still clapping. It's actually kind of surprising that the NFL hasn't gone to this, but I'm sure, NFL defensive lines would say otherwise. They'd probably love to tee off on that clap too. But, no, it is a challenge because most of them haven't done anything like that, But with that being said, I mean, it's not something that is overly complicated. I'm sure if you asked any rookie quarterback, I haven't asked Stetson about it, but if you asked any rookie quarterback, I would think they'd say when the ball snap is a little more challenging than, working that cadence.
And that's I should have been more specific with Steve Avila.
Yep.
Just making sure that he's it's a
Yeah, no, that's totally, and that's why you put in that work. Some teams do it a little bit earlier than others. What I have so much appreciation and respect for Sean is, he gets on that stuff right away. That's not stuff that you work in, the last week of August. You start that stuff right away to make sure we're getting on the same page with that. And, from not just the center and the right guard doing the communication back with the quarterback to the center, but just across all five right there.
Sorry, the second part of the question is just, with you guys having shuffled the line like you have through training camp, and then if you are still working through that front five, going into such a loud environment, a competitive environment, combined with being on the sideline, those types of things as they come up, what is that like, understanding that chemistry, and are there any concerns in that regard?
Yeah, again, it kind of goes back to just how we answered the other stuff. I mean, all that you have to work through, right? And that's why every walkthrough rep you take it like it is Sunday, during the game. And those guys got to be locked in all those situations, knowing that when we get to Sunday, they feel so comfortable that they're not even thinking about it. They're just going off of all the reps that they put in.
After Colin plays the last couple seasons, is that going to be weird for you, not calling the play? And what is the communication like between you and Sean in the midst of a game in terms of a play call?
Well, we haven't done that yet, right? Because obviously other guys called it during the preseason and stuff like that. But I got a pretty good idea how this thing's going to go, and Sean, he wants to collaborate, with everybody, and there's constant communication, and that's no different than anywhere else I've been. There's just constant communication, and so we'll all do our part as assistants to him, and make sure that we feel like every single play, we're, whether we're just all being quiet, letting him get in his rhythm, or whether there's a suggestion to be made, we're going to do it.
Can you follow up on that? How do you sense that? If he's in a rhythm or offering the wisdom that you have?
You just kind of know, there was times over the last 2 years people just knew not to say anything, and then when to say something, and when you want something, when someone wants something, when they don't, and that's just part of reading people and working with people and having kind of that nonverbal communication as well, so whether I was calling it, whether I was with obviously Kyle or whatnot, and if you don't know, then you better figure it out. So
Thank you.
yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it all.
What's going on? Sarah, you get no questions today because you haven't been here.
I think I actually should get all the questions.
No. What's going on?
Biggest issue dealing with Gino.
Gino, man, a fan favorite from last year, and what he was able to put on tape and what he was able to do. He had everybody cheering for him, just with the mentality and how he played. He's a dual threat, both with his legs still at his age, doesn't matter. He did a nice job of creating big plays. He got some confidence with his team. Really just one of those guys that's just you can't help but cheer for him when you're not playing against him. And he did a great job all of last year, and I'm sure he's looking to continue that. And it'll be a great challenge for us.
Raheem, as long as you've been doing this, how different is week one?
Just a nice way of him calling me old, just so you guys know. Week one, did I move? What phone did I move? Week one is it's always special, because every year is just a new team. It's like every year you go into it as a brand new team. It doesn't matter what happened the year before. It doesn't matter what happened at any moment when you've been at a franchise or whatever the case may be. It's just one of those special weeks when you go into week one that just, resonates with all of us because you're building your new team, especially us. You're going out there, you're identifying your character, you're identifying who you are as a play team, as a team, as a players, as everything. It just means a lot to all of us. So, it's always a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for the fans. The hype is amongst everybody. Everybody's special that they can win it all. And you go out there and compete. That's all you do.
Leading up, do you feel like you stay up later at night because it's a division team, you know a lot of things they do, but you don't know because everyone's evolving?
I think for coaches just in general, you got so much love for the game, you always feel that way. So I don't know if that increases or it lessens based on your opponent. I think that for us, it's just the excitement of doing it over and over again. We don't get bored or mundane or let that get mundane for us. We just kind of go through our process. And as long as you trust that process, you feel really good about it.
What are your conversations like with Ernest Jones this week? It's going to be his first call in a pretty competitive environment.
I don't know if the conversation has necessarily changed with Ernest. It's you're teaching him your thoughts and how you see the game and how he wants to see it. And then when you go through practice, you see exactly what he can see and what he can't see. I think it's just the nature of the beast to go out and help him facilitate the best game possible playing against the other quarterback. Because that's what he's doing, right? He's going out there playing against the other quarterback. He's getting us in the best situation that he can possibly get us in. He's getting us lined up as quickly as he can. He's communicating to all his guys. His guys are helping him communicate. He's able to come off the grass and tell us exactly what's going on. So he's just getting ready for those moments. He's done it a couple times. I guess you can say it's the biggest game. I don't know if this is the next game, but it is what it is. I'm pretty excited to go out there with him and compete and do stuff that we do together because he is really fun to be around. And he's been really fun to be around throughout camp, throughout the off season, throughout our preparation for game week, and it's just awesome to be a part of week one. No questions for you. I meant that.
Aaron's been telling us a little bit about what it's like having this team such of young other defenders, and I'm just curious from your perspective, what's that dynamic been like watching some of those rookies or younger guys around there?
It's been awesome because we kind of started the process, right? Last year at the end, and you just kind of see some young people go out there and play with the same football team that we plan, coming up here. So some of those guys have emerged as, whether you want to call it leaders or guys that kind of hold the banner high. Then to watch those guys grow in the offseason and to watch them really earn their respect from themselves, from their teammates, from their coaches, to put themselves in the position to go out there and play. It has been absolutely outstanding. It's been fun to be with the old guys because Aaron called them the young guys. So it's been great to be with him, back out there on the grass and to be able to get those young guys around him, to see how he works, to be able to talk the things to talk his same language and to be able to play together and play fast and have fun and be free. So it's been a great week. I can't wait to get to practice today to get another opportunity with these young guys and my old guys, so to speak. But it's been a really good week.
Just a couple more guys.
Tyler and DK. I mean, you're talking about, two of the best, arguably, maybe the best tandem in football. You're talking about DK, the sides, the strength, the ability to stretch the field, the red zone threat, all the stuff that he brings to the table. But Tyler, really gets slept on a lot. I mean, he's been torturing me for years. I mean, you're talking about a small guy who absolutely can play big down the field. He has all the movement underneath. He absolutely owns third down. He is their team probably captain. I don't even know that for sure. He should have a C on his chest if he's not. Just by the way he plays and his demeanor within the game. His ability to draw pass interference down the field because he's so little and he's a great flopper. He should play basketball. He has been torturing us for years. He's just been an unbelievable, outstanding player for a long time. And when you're talking about the duo and getting along with Geno or whoever's been their quarterback, they just made whoever back there look good, whoever the guy has been.
Mike, you know Aaron really well.
You guys fighting over me? I love it.
It's maybe someone in his position, a different person than him, would have looked at what this defense was going to look like and not be surrounded by some of the guys he's been in the past and say, I don't want that. What is it about him that's allowed him to take the challenge on? Les was telling us that he said, I just want guys that are hungry.
Yeah, I think it's less about him and more about his trust for the organization. When the organization has the ability to talk to you and communicate to you as an adult, And you talk about having hungry people around you, and you respect the people that's going out to evaluate them, whether that be the scouts, or you respect the people that's going to bring the guys in and get these guys to go and help them develop faster, that being the coaches. And you respect the people that you work with every single day. I think it makes it a little bit easier for him to go through that process. You respect the ownership and what we're going and what our plan has been. A couple years ago, it was funny. Like, it was you guys went all in. What if you don't do this, Raheem? Is it a failure? Well, yeah. Now, you're young. How is it with Aaron starting over again? It's fun. It's absolutely fun. It is what we love to do. It's what you love to write about. It's what the fans love to see. We don't call it, we're reloading, so to speak. And it is fun to watch in practice. And if you've been at practice and see the liveliness and the spirit and the vibe and the energy and the enthusiasm, the things that they bring every single day, you can't help but have fun. And I'm going to answer your question because you were so patient.
Last two.
With all the youth in the secondary, what do you want to see from them against that Seattle receiving corps?
I want to see their best version of themselves. I want those guys to go out there and absolutely compete like they have been. I've seen energy. I've seen growth. I've seen development. I've seen maturity. I've seen people bounce back from injuries and really take over that captain role and come back and really assume that calm sense of leadership. So I want to see the best version of those guys, and they've shown it to me in practice. We've had some letdowns at times in training camp, and it's been easy to go in that room and correct those things. It's been easy to come out and compete the next day and show that thing come back to life. So the best version of that room in themselves is going to be good enough for us.
Last question.
Gary had next, Jordan. I'll come to you next, too. I'll get you too, Jordan.
What, if anything, do you miss most about not having Jalen as a piece?
I thought I was going to get out of here without a Jalen question. There was no chance you're going to let me do that. I don't miss him because he calls me all the time. No, Jalen was super fun, right? Let's cut it to the chase. Jalen will forever be one of my favorite players, friend, comrade, whatever you want to call him. And I'll see him in Canton when it's time for him to go in. And whether he goes in as a Ram, a Miami Dolphin, or a Jacksonville Jaguar, he's going to continue a high level of play, and he'll always be missed. And his presence is still felt. Like there's guys that love him, there's guys that hate him. There's guys that know it pushed him into a level of competitive level that you just want to go out there and either prove him wrong or prove him right. He's like my old coach, Coach Gardy, right? He used to come in, he used to tell you, you can go home and prove the old man wrong, Ra. And that's just what you want to do. And there was people that loved him, there was people that hate him. But he had the ability to push the buttons, and that's kind of how Jalen is. Jordan.
Mike LaFleur was just in here telling us this is going to be, obviously, it'll be his first game actually on a call with Sean in the
Sure.
headset with Sean calling the game. You've been on a lot of headsets with Sean. What is the thing you would tell Mike about the spoken and unspoken communication through that?
The beauty of it is I know Mike so well and I know him so well that I won't have to tell Mike anything. Mike is very outspoken. He's going to give his opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's going to tell you how he sees it, and that's what Sean respects the most. People that just tell him, I said, we go out and we play these games, and you don't always get the results you want. But if your process is right and you have the ability to go out there and he believes in what you do and you believe in what he does, you can pretty much say anything to each other, and it won't be taken the wrong way or go across any other way than a genuine love and want to win that football game.
Well said.
Good. I messed your phone up.
No, you're good.
Fantastic.
So how is this for you? You spend the whole preseason, it seems like, with the games and getting ready, evaluating, 50 guys, many of whom aren't even here anymore.
Yep.
And now you got to roll out into a game that really counts with guys that haven't yet been on the field together like that. So what's it like for you in terms of rep?
That group that was going to roll out there has been playing together for
a long time in training camp and all the practices and against the Raiders and the Broncos. And so we've definitely had our core group together for quite a bit. And obviously the way things play out in the preseason, you're trying to get looks at other guys, plus those backups, the way we roll it, the backups are starting and getting looks at offense and defense. So don't want to put them up for extra injury risk and things like that. So you kind of limit their reps on special teams a little bit, but that practice-wise, this core's been together pretty good for the most part.
What ultimately happened with Tanner, and what went into the decision to sign Brett?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you got we had 3 rookies. Love to get a veteran in here, not only for the ability that he's been through it, done it, seen it, had those playoff opportunities, had different opportunities, and seen what it's like to be in big game environments. And so for him to come in here and give us something, especially after we got to see him for a couple of days and see how well he was kicking the ball there in Denver was a big deal. And obviously, Tanner missed again in the preseason, and that's an unfortunate part about kicking is it's about kind of a what have you done for me lately type deal. And that's one of the positions where you only get so many attempts or so many looks at it, especially in a preseason where we moved from 4 games to 3 games now, right? So it's like you get limited reps and limited looks in actual game activity, and it's about producing when those lights come on.
I guess I wonder, because you guys came into camp or spring with 2 rookie kickers, and that was going to be what you were working with and trying out. And at what point do you start having the discussions, and what are the discussions like to pivot from that?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've had discussions since I got here about the same situation and scenarios, and obviously you guys know as well as me, and I'd speak out of turn, but like the way our cap and things are and everything else, and trying to figure out, obviously we had Matt Gay here, who's for a long time who's been an incredible kicker, and you wanted him here, and I think everyone in this building wanted him here, but at the same point, you got to do what's best for the team and the whole overall picture, and that was where we were at that point, and we always had our eye towards, hopefully we could get the right guy in here as a rookie, having 2 guys and having opportunity for them to compete and go after it together. Figured out pretty quickly that we thought we had a guy. Obviously didn't quite come down that way, but always keeping an eye out across the league as well. We know, this way this league works. You saw, I think there was like 6 or 7 kicker transactions on the final day roster. So a lot of moving pieces, a lot of moving parts. So we're always trying to keep an eye on all that and what's happening and where it's going. And, Brett was a guy that we had identified even in the offseason when he was a free agent. So felt really good about that, especially after getting the 2 days to see him live and plus the game.
So it's outside of looking in, going to Seattle, Brett lines up for a kick. It's his first kick in a game situation. Does that seem as awkward at all to you?
I mean, first kick of what? Like with this group?
With this group.
Yeah,
in this
I mean,
situation.
I would say, yeah, you understand it's the first one this year with him and this group, but he's also been doing it for a number of years. He's been, he's 11 years out, 6 years in the league. He's done a great job of adapting and overcoming. He's had multiple holders and snappers over his career. He's a 90% guy the last 2 years. Had very, very good success with a strong leg. And he's a getting to know him again, and that 2 days we were together, getting to know his personality a little better and what makes him tick and how his mindset is and his mind and his frame of mind when he goes out on the field. That was a big deal to me. And I think he's shown that, so far since he's been here. We've had multiple live op days. This will be our 3rd live op day with the full group. We'll get another one tomorrow. So feel good. It's not his first kick with the group. It'll be a first game kick with this group. But, I think everyone in this organization has his back, and as well as we've done a nice job with the 2 guys. He feels very comfortable with the 2 guys that we have, and Alex and Ethan holding and snapping right there. It's been good for him.
Just a quick follow-up on that. When you said in Denver, what was it about his mind that you liked?
I mean, you just watched the way he worked on the side, the way he was like adamant about the holds, about the way, obviously Riley Dixon was there, and he's a really good holder. He was here before. And so just hearing how he talked to them and what he liked and how he has a feel for the game. It's not like he's not so robotic. Some of these guys can get so in their head about my steps here. I got to be a certain distance from the ball. My plant has to be at 8 inches, or my heel has to be here. At the end of the day, it's about feel. Like, he has to be able to see the ball down quick, which is what we've been working with Alex and Ethan on the whole time, is getting the ball down quick, getting it set, so that he has an ability to adapt his swing on the way through there. And so he has more of a better feel of the game to be able to put his foot on the ball the way we need it to be in every kick.
Philosophically speaking, I know you guys obviously have the sample size of the spring and summer with Tanner, but at what point do you pivot from kind of what Jordan was talking about, letting a rookie grow in that position to feeling like, okay, maybe the more experienced option's better?
I think it's kind of a tough question. I think we've always had, like I said, I think we've always had an eye as an organization of looking to see what would come available if we felt like we could get the right guy that we really believed in, that was a veteran and for the right price and all that kind of stuff. Then it was always on our mind. And, I'd say if that person didn't come available, we'd have been doing the same type of deal and letting him work through it. And we'd have had to have his back and stand firm in our beliefs that we had the right guy and develop and grow. I do believe in Tanner still. I would bring him back at some point, and I'd love to keep working with him. I think he has again a good mindset and a good frame of reference, and he's a good, strong leg. Hopefully we can have him back at some point and keep developing him and grow, and it'll be exciting to see where he goes. It's not the end of the road for him. As a lot of you guys know, specialists especially get cut 2 or 3 times before they finally make an opportunity to stick on a roster. Brett is a perfect example of that, right? And you could go across the league outside of basically Justin Tucker. Most of the guys have been cut at some point and had to move around and bounce around and then make their own mark. And I think, Tanner's no different. To get settled in and have a good situation and continue to grow.
What is Brett's personality like? Obviously, he's been through some stuff, and it seems like from the way you're talking about it, seems like you're pretty drawn to him.
Yeah, I think he's reserved, but he's very professional. So he has a good personality when we're in our room, when we're just like kind of hanging out together and having that different banter back and forth, but then when we get to watch the film or we get to the practice or we get even in the walkthroughs, we're doing a million snap holds and having him put the ball down there. He's so dialed in and detailed to what he wants that it makes things operate so much more efficiently and effectively when you do have a veteran in the room that can. It's not just one voice coming from me or from Spring or from the head coach. It's a leader in that room, and I think that's kind of shown up in this last 10 days or whatever it's been now.
And then, sorry, last one.
You're good.
Ethan Evans, they actually showed the punts on TV for the preseason, so everyone saw kind of like what we have been seeing.
Yeah. Yep.
How did he handle that live, like on the road, live, like those kinds of things that last game, and then how has he sort of handled understanding where he needs to kind of go next with what he can do?
Yeah.
From that physical ability.
Yeah, I think obviously we've seen where he's at right now physically and his natural ability, and he's done a great job of putting that out there, right? And we'll continue to work on the hang time, not just the distance, but also the direction, which in the preseason we kind of limited some of the direction. Later in games, if you notice, we got more directional, had more punts out of bounds. But early in the game, we wanted to see guys cover. We wanted to see, so we went more narrow in the middle of the field there, and obviously don't want to do that in a real live situation, but we also got to evaluate the other 53 guys on the field right there and say who can cover, who can get after it and make a play in space. Difference being now since that point, and really even on our side, we've been working his lines and different things to get a ball out of bounds, hit better hang times, put the ball, dropping a little bit differently, hitting some different punts as far as trajectories and angles, and I don't want to get too much into like game plan stuff, but different punts that he can hit in order to have success and not just be able to say, hey, I'm going to hit a 60-yard or 65-yard ball and put it in the alley and let you sit back there and return it, but mixing it up a little bit, having a little bit of gamesmanship to him, as well as just the direction ability to put it out of bounds if we have to. And again, a guy like that who has a big enough leg, if we can put it out of bounds, even if it's at 40, 45, like you feel good about it, take all the risk out and put an opportunity for him to put his foot forward. And if he hits a 55-yard out of bounds like he did a couple times in preseason, then all the better for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you.